Buffy the Vampire Slayer continuation has been canceled. It was supposed to follow a 15-year-old young girl named Nova, and it's not going to happen anymore. Both Sarah Michelle Gellar and Chloe have given their opinions about this, and the internet does what the internet does, and it narrowed it down to the executive they think is behind the cancellation. What I will say is I think this guy's kind of getting a bad rep for nothing. And the reason why I say that is I feel like he's Toby from The Office, and Michelle and Chloe are both Michael Scott, in which a specific scene, right? When Toby is trying or is listing a bunch of reasons on why the Boy Scouts can't come to casino night, and Michael's like, "Why are you the way you are?" I feel like that's this in this situation.
Oh, and another fun thing. We, at the end of the night, are going to give the check to an actual group of Boy Scouts, right, Toby? We're going to...
Actually, I didn't think it was appropriate to invite children since it's, there's gambling and alcohol and it's in our dangerous warehouse and it's a school night and, Hooters is catering. Is that enough? Is that enough? Should I keep going?
Why are you the way that you are? Honestly, every time I try to do something fun or exciting, you make it not that way. I hate so much about the things that you choose to be.
And don't get me wrong, guys, I am a huge Buffy fan. I'm a huge Angel fan. I'm mad that Spike never got his freaking spin-off. You know what I mean? Like I'm such a huge fan that in my iCloud or like the TV, right? I have seasons 8 of Buffy, which was like just an animation from the comic books on there. So like the seasons both Buffy and Angel continue in comic form. I'm a huge fan, so I know the excitement. But if we just take a step back and use critical thinking, right? This was a hard sell, especially for this executive who had never seen it, but is just going off what he sees and what he knows about the IP. And he's, I guess, an executive for Disney, right? Let's get in there. Let's stick with that. And Disney's already having a hard time with more adult programming as far as Marvel and Star Wars is going. They can't seem to get Goosebumps off going. Like, you have to take a step back and look at what this guy possibly saw with Buffy, right? The OG cast, with maybe the exception of Sarah Michelle Gellar, who was 19 when she started filming Buffy, all those dudes were adults. Like, like 15 is wild. This was like adults playing teenagers. And so you have this young actress, Ryan Armstrong, right? And she's already in the Disney system, and she's going to be playing a 15-year-old girl, right? I'm imagining in high school. That is wild, right? When the OG cast was so much older than that. And like, she's probably just turned 15. Like, that's so wild to try to put this young girl in that situation. Like, I don't know if you guys remember the OG Buffy, but they had like a bar they frequented as teenagers, right? Because that was part of where you hunted vampires, right? You could always spot a vampire because they looked out of place. So when all these teenagers are dressed like 90s teenagers, a vampire would dress like in like 80s get up or 70s clothes, and it was easy for you to spot. So a large portion of this took place at a bar of some sort. There was drugs and sex and like older relationships. Like it or not, David, who played Angel, was wildly older than Buffy. Wildly older. They are the predecessors to Bella and Edward, right? And so you're bringing I'm sure like the executive is like listing these things. He's like, so we're just gonna bring an actual 15-year-old into this world where you yourself were 19 playing a 16-year-old. Like, this is okay. Now we're trying to get the older demographic to stick around, because a lot of these like continuations or legacy and reboot shows, the mistake they make the most is when they continuously try to put or try to start the legacy off with a younger crowd, which is not where it's at. Like, it's not going to do successful. You're trying to regain the crowd you started with and then grow from there. So basically, nobody in their early 30s, late 30s, early 40s is trying to rewatch high school kids. Like, it's kind of like with like Euphoria. Like, I've seen Euphoria. I've personally have never felt comfortable watching Euphoria. Like, it's like that. They try to get the younger audience from these like millennial TV series and forgetting that their audience is millennial, so they start so young. That's not what the audience is looking for. So now you got this 15-year-old girl who's going to be brought into this very adult world, right? Because if you want the millennial audience to come back, you have to then start bringing back not just Sarah Michelle Gellar, but you have to bring back characters who survive the end, right? So now you got more adult characters. So, you know, she's actually 15. She's got to deal with these like adult situations, which was like kind of the shtick for Buffy. But remember, these are adults playing kids. Now you're using a kid to play a teenager, right? So it's just all bad, man. So now they got to do makeup, right? Which I'm assuming we're gonna do a Slayer show. They're gonna put makeup on her to kind of like age her up, which is already disgusting. So like Shrike 2, my dude, like this is not looking good. And Shrike 3 for me would probably be the fact that, okay, we're starting off Slayer, right? And we have this new character, Nova. At most, we could bury this in the after credits, the black screen credits, right? Inspired by or adapted from characters based by, like, so many words, right? That are separating his influence from this current iteration of Slayer, Joss Whedon, right? Right. So like inspired by or adapted from characters by Joss Whedon, right? Now you got Buffy in here. So Sarah Michelle Gellar comes back. Chances are Willow's gonna come back, right? Chances are, I don't know, like David Boreanaz is still alive. So maybe an appearance from Angel. Spike is still alive. Like, I'm assuming that since this world, like I've seen some of the onset photos, I'm assuming since like the world looks like the world, that we're not continuing, like anything that was written in comic book is not canon as far as the show would have went. And so like all these people are still alive. Where was I? Oh, so now this no longer becomes an adaptation of or inspired by. This now gets a created by Joss Whedon. So now Joss Whedon gets another credit. He's making money because unfortunately I don't think Joss went to jail or was tried in court. So it's not like if he was in prison or in jail, right? I don't think he could profit from your crimes. But he's free, right? Everything was alleged. He's a free guy. So now he's making money off of this new Buffy. So like, why would you want that? Like, that's Strike 3. So I'm like, this exec is probably listing all these things to Sarah and Chloe, and they're just like, why are you the way that you are? Like, like let's keep it funky, bro. Like, because if they really did this, Charisma Carpenter has to come back, right? She deserves a comeback. So everybody's like, you know, what is she doing? Like, are we gonna how she was treated in Angel? Everybody's gonna want their turn, their repeat, their go around, basically, right? So out the gate, those three strikes, it was wise. It was smart to cancel this because like the pilot is a pilot. Like, why are we here with Nova? And why is she 15? If we're gonna, Nova's fine, but we should be casting somebody either the same age as Sarah was when she started, or a little bit older, who can play younger, and then thus we don't have any moral or ethical reasons why not to put her in these situations, right? Because being a 15-year-old at the time when she filmed this, and like I've seen some of the onset photos. Like there's like a photo of a woman, a black vampire, right? And I think she's from what I can remember, I think it's like she's only in a bra. Like just stuff seemed like it was getting wild to me. But yeah, like why is Nova here? Like nobody's gonna come to see Nova. People are gonna come to see Sarah. Like keeping her and starting again in high school when she's going to have to deal with these situations. Because you know what, and I haven't talked about it yet, but I think I'm going to. But I'm a big fan of Starfleet Academy. I think it's awesome, and they did one thing I think is which led to them. Finished filming season 2, and I think they're going to get a season 3 for sure. They made one change to like these legacy reboots, retellings, and spin-offs and whatnot that changed the game for them. Is they put these young adults in college. They're not in high school. So now when they're cussing and having sex and drinking, like it looks like, or at least the audience accepts that, oh, okay, these people are like 2021 in this field. And I think that's sort of like the mistake a lot of these legacy shows make. It's like, oh, we're going to keep them in high school. And it's just like, bro, like nobody was, the core audience of this doesn't want to see another, it feels weird. Even if there's nothing going on, it's like, why am I watching this? Like, why am I watching this kid again? Like, like they want to know what's going on with Sarah. Like Teen Wolf, I don't know. They're supposed to be coming back. I don't know what they're going to do. They got to change that name to just Wolf or something. Like, nobody's trying to watch teens again. I think this is like, later on, apologies are going to be given across the board, especially to this exec, because, I mean, as sucky as it sounds, he made the hard but good decision. Like, way too young to be doing stuff like this. Like I said, the original OG cast was wildly older than the source characters or the material characters that were in the show. So it's weird to put this young woman, or not young woman, but this young girl in this predicament. It's giving Joss Whedon more money because they have to pay him for using his characters that he created. So, and it's still his world. So I don't know why we would want to do that. Is just wild. Is wild. I don't think we should be doing that. And then, part 3, just make a Buffy reboot, bro. Make her a college professor. Don't start in high school. If you want young adults, put her in community college or in a regular college. She is training the new Slayer or whatever. But then that's even weird because last we see of Buffy, there's a whole school of Buffy's. Like, everybody has come to power. So it's weird to try to put this in to like make one character. But who knows? We'll never know. Unless the pilot leaks and then we get to see what's going on, or the script leaks and we get to see what's going on. But I personally, for all those reasons, more money in Joss Whedon's pocket. And I know they're trying to restart Firefly, which is like, again, like, why are we still trying to put money in this dude's pocket? But okay, we're here. The young girl is a young girl. It does not make sense for them to put like a 15-year-old in this. And why are we starting from 15 again, where they should just do what they did with Sarah and cast older to play younger? It's not hard, guys. And just the material, okay? We're dealing with like the Slayer at a very young age is dating this older man who David looked like a man when he showed up on the show. Again, the material, sex, drugs, rock and roll. And then like now this new generation, we're dealing with like sexting and the hub and just, I just think the material is too much for this young person to have even been involved in it. Like, it's just good call for the exec. Good call. He made the hard choice, and it was a good choice. So until like Sarah and Chloe or Ryan and her representatives go like, oh, actually, this is how we figured it out, and this is what it looked like, and this is what the plot was. Like, to me, Sarah, this looks weird, and the fact that you're doing Star Search with Jelly Roll also looks weird. Listen, Freddie Prinze can't do all the common sense lifting. I'm gonna need you to like do another response and like fix this or explain to us like what this was about. Because right now it just seems like your Toby came in and was like, this is all the reasons why we should not be doing this, and you two didn't like it, and now you guys are mad about it. But to me, it sounds like it makes sense. That makes sense to me. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. As usual, stay excellent.